When you think of NASA, you may think of mighty rockets, rovers, and astronauts. What you may not realize, though, is that NASA is home to the largest group of Earth scientists in the world. So what better way to celebrate the 53rd anniversary of Earth Day than with the premier organization tasked with looking out for our planet? Welcome to the show, Chief of NASA Goddard Space Flight Center, Hydrological Science Lab, Dr. John Bolton. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
So you're coming to us from the lab in Greenbelt, Maryland right now. What are you examining and learning about our planet?
Oh, that's right. So we're learning so many things, especially on this Earth Day. So right now I'm sitting at the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center, just right outside of DC. So this is the largest group of Earth scientists in the world. And a lot of folks don't realize, but NASA has 25 satellites that are Earth observing. So they're looking down from space, and they're looking at different parts of the water, energy, and carbon cycles. And this is critically important, and it's perhaps the best way to study and get a better understanding of our Earth and how it works and what's happening.
When you're talking about that many satellites and other instruments that you're using to observe the Earth, are you guys putting more out there? Are there any new launches out on the horizon, no pun intended, to kind of get more information?
We're always planning to launch more. So the next upcoming satellite is called TEMPO, and this will be an air quality focused mission that will allow us to take unprecedented observations of air quality, and that will help really inform our understanding of air quality and how it affects all of us every day. We recently just launched a satellite called SWOT, is the Soil, Water, Ocean Topography Mission. And this one's super cool. And what it does, it measures the height of rivers, lakes, and the oceans within the accuracy of a few centimeters. And this is critically important if your job is looking at water and where it is and where it isn't and where it's going.
We've seen a lot of pretty extraordinary weather events lately here, especially in the Midwest. NASA just doesn't observe these, though. They actually record this data. What do you guys do with this data that you ingest?
That's a great question. So everything NASA does, all the data that we collect is in the public domain. And why this is important is that a big part of what NASA Earth Science Division does is we work with the decision makers. And these decisions that folks are making related to the movement of water, for example, if there's a future drought, if there's a future flood, you would like to have an observation, a frequent observation of what's happening related to vegetation change. If there's water here, if there's a rising of this river, or using numerical modeling to forecast the future changes in that stream or river. So we're working with decision makers all the time, and that's a big part of NASA's Applied Sciences program, and helping us make more informed decisions, essentially.
Dr. Bolton, I have another question here real quickly. When we look at NASA, we think of NASA, a lot of people assume you guys are going to space and looking out what's beyond the Earth. Why is it important, though, to go out and look back at the Earth and measure the things that are happening here?
That's a great question. So, my background, I'm a hydrologist, right? I'm a geologist by training. A lot of my training was done in the field and going out and collecting samples and digging the dirt and looking at crops. But we've learned that the best place to actually understand what's happening on a regional or global scale is from space. And why that's really, really cool is because the satellites, they have a frequent overpass. So you can have an observation every 30 minutes or every hour. And it's really, really nice to have frequent observations of water, of the vegetation changes, of the land surface. And this is very, very important for us to just have a better understanding, especially related to the current conditions and future climate change that will affect every single one of us.
So much information and great information, and just not enough time to talk about all the work you guys do because it's nonstop. So, Dr. Bolton, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. We certainly appreciate that.